Hi.
Uh,
It is nice to see your pretty face.
yeah. Are you calling to ask me how I liked Honora, which I went
Did
to
you?
last night?
Oh my God. It hurts to laugh.
We,
Where's
I'm
your head?
sorry. We went to a 9:30 show.
You went to the
By
movies last
then,
night?
yeah, by
You
9:30 it looked
10
like
years
things were
ago?
going a certain way. So 9:30 West Coast. We could tell where things were going. So I was glad to go into a dark movie with a beer and
Wow.
uh it was actually good. There were other people in the theater, and it felt like we were all just like in a bunker together,
Mm.
like
Mm-hmm.
aware that everything was burning. But you're just like, we're gonna take in some art.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was like,
I
this is
get that.
good. I
Yeah.
mean, it's weird, right? But you know that you're gonna come out to like, I don't know how to explain it. It was good. I was glad I did it. I was like, I don't want to watch it, you know, if that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
And now I just
Yeah.
feel, yeah,
We kept like turning on the TV, turning it off, turning on the sound. We had like
yeah,
some
because you were
people
with
over.
people, right?
Yeah, we had some friends over and yeah, you know, I don't know. I still my friend this morning was like, just keep refreshing, like keep your thumb on on your screen and like if you refresh 5 times, she might have won. And I think I think I felt like, I mean, of course, it was still possible when I went to bed, what, at 11, right on the West Coast. Most of the swing states had not been called and um yeah, but where's your head this morning?
Uh, I feel it's like my body. I feel like I'm wearing a weighted vest. Like I went on a walk with Nellie and I feel like I'm wearing like a weighted something. Like it's
Yeah,
like I think it's like grief in my body.
yeah, yeah.
My head is off. I don't think my head is on. It's like it's weird. It's different than before because we've been here before.
Yeah, we have, but it was like it wasn't, I mean, that was like, 1.0. It's like it's so
Yeah.
much the fangs in this thing now are so sharp.
When
It
Kamala
feels a
was
lot scarier.
when it became Kamala instead of Biden, like I was standing in my mom's kitchen and David and my mom were excited, I think. And I was like so terrified because I was like, I don't think I want to find out how racist and sexist our
Yeah,
country really is.
yeah.
And I'm scared that if Kamala's our person, we're gonna find out.
You
And
know,
we won't be able to look away, which is maybe,
but I don't think
I
the
don't know.
racism and sexism was necessarily about her. I mean,
Yeah.
I certainly it's hard harder for some people to vote, um, you know, with if they're misogynist, racist, or for a woman of color. But I mean, it's so much wider than that. It's not
Mhm.
like it's not. I do think this is about racism and misogyny. I mean, you said it. Our friend of the pod, Amanda Montei, this morning published this piece. I don't know how, probably because she was up all night, it seems. That's really well written and like just 100% expresses my sentiment this morning, which is like, it's not the economy, it's misogyny. And just talking about this, sick, rotten racism and patriarchy that's at the root of our country and really its founding and how it hasn't gone away. And like
Mhm.
I think we're going to see more and more that is what is behind a lot of this. I'm kind of, I feel impatient, like she is, kind of with these explanations of like, well, it's people who feel disenfranchised. And, she's like, we all feel disenfranchised. Everybody feels like alone and left behind by the government. That's not like the distinction between people who voted for Trump and people who aren't, who didn't,
Yeah.
And so I don't know where did I start and where am I going? But
No, yeah.
I don't think it's just that people hate Kamala because she's a woman of color. I think people, are ready to oppress all women and all people of color and trans
It's all
people. And it's
right. Oh
just
yeah.
fucking sick and it's really disturbing. And I, just like you said, it's like, I don't want to find out. That is what it feels like. The grief of today is just finding out how
Like
much,
again, finding out again.
yeah, how
It's like
much
again.
people hate, hate us and
And
hate,
are fearful, right? Like there's so much. We've been working, we did that episode with David Reedman, and one of the things that I like thought
about
about as
school
I fell
shootings.
asleep was
Yeah.
like how in 4 years, I kept doing like 4 years math. Like in 4 years, Nellie will be 7. In four
Yeah.
years, Griffin will be 11. And like I also don't want to like sleepwalk through these 4 years. Like these are precious years with my babies, and like there's this cloud now that's like, and I don't know what to do about, right? It's like, what do I do with this cloud? How do I live my life? Well, how do I do my part in continuing, like what
Right.
do I
Well,
need to
well,
do and
people are
what can I
pointing
do?
out, I don't know if I'm quite ready for this though. I know it's true that, people have lived through, like there's a Rebecca Solnit, a beautiful Rebecca
Yeah.
Solnit quote that's, making the rounds this morning, though I've been trying to avoid social media, even though there are,
Yeah.
of course, pockets of connection and beauty. But she's talking about, people lived through, all sorts of totalitarian governments and war, and people have raised children and held hope and resistance through very dark things. And it's not the last time, or the first time, right?
Yeah.
But it's the
Well, and like
first time
this,
for us, I think, on this level. And
yeah.
and some of us like these layers too of I think a lot of people are shocked. And what I hear from friends of mine who, have multiple marginalizations, right, is that like it's not such a shock, or that kind of their awareness of the stain of racism and misogyny in our country and the personal impacts of it isn't confined to a moment like this.
Yeah.
And
No,
yet it's
yeah.
a pretty big moment of it. What
Yeah, I
what did
think,
your Yeah,
yeah.
go ahead. I was gonna ask about your kids and like have you talked to your kids about it?
Well, luckily Nellie doesn't know.
Yeah,
The nicest thing that's happening
she's
as you
in the
and I are
concrete
talking.
stage of
Yeah, she's oblivious,
cognitive
thank
development.
God. But this nice thing that's happening is like as we're talking, speaking of like as I fell asleep last night too, I was like, way oversimplification,
You
but you
fell
have to
asleep
like
last night? Yeah, go ahead.
I did. You have
I
to like
did too,
self
but I used the drugs. I used the drugs.
for me it was
I
the
doled out
weighted
many
blank
Ativan at my get together last night, and then
it,
I gave
my
myself a
weighted blanket of
Unison.
grief like put me to sleep.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it was like I was thinking about like I think strategies from last time though are helping me. Like you know, like look for the helpers, like all of these kinds of things. It's like it is overly simplistic, and it's also like I woke up and we took the kids to school, and then I started getting all these text messages from especially like other moms. Like there's this group of moms that gets together, and um everyone is sharing like funny things their kids said. Like this one little girl said something about like, I want to kick Trump in the penis. And like that was
Yeah.
her, or like Griffey's kind of funny, weird reaction when I told him. And he doesn't totally understand, but like I also showed him the map and I showed him fortunate, we're fortunate. We live on the West Coast. And I was like, the whole West Coast went for Kamala. Like, and I was trying to show him that. So it's like, it's not like the whole,
Why?
right? The
To so
whole
he could be
country is,
proud or feel safer or what?
so he could
I think I'm in a little
understand.
bit of a less like ready for silver linings place. Just
I mean, I don't think of it as silver linings, right? I think
okay.
for me, I'm like, I have to get through the day, and I have to like help him
Do
know
you?
that it's
We
not.
could just walk into the ocean.
Well, David's also working on our Canadian passports today.
I know, but like what this is a global thing, and like I mean I do,
Yeah.
like I'm in California and when we told our kids this morning, my son woke up and first of all like remembered for the first time in several months that before we moved, he made a like yard sale bin of things he wanted to sell in a yard sale and asked where it was. And I was like, oh yeah, we like 100% gave that to Goodwill. And he was like, what? And he was very upset this morning. Rightfully so. He was,
Oh,
he had
yeah.
some good choice items in there. And yeah, and I was just like, I'm sorry, we're garbage. But then we also, I was like, let's tell them before they go to school.
Yeah.
And my 6-year-old, of course, her response was, yeah, she was like, the first thing she said was, well, Kamala got California, and that's good.
Yeah.
I think she was thinking more for Kamala, like the way that a first grader would be like, well, you lost, but like you did play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like
Yeah.
at least your colors were good, even though it doesn't look like a rainbow or whatever. But then my son was like, he's already upset about something more immediate and concrete. And then he just asked, what's gonna happen? And I had
Uh,
this moment of
uh,
like, God, talked should we not have like talked to them so negatively about Trump? Because now they of course they're scared. There's a lot of kids who have heard their parents say things that are really probably all true about Trump that are now kind of, yes, of course it's frightening then to be like, wait, that person? And but I don't have regret about that. I mean that wasn't
no.
us. This is a problem I have with this debate about like, oh, are we being too polarized and like, should we be listening more to the other side? Is like, no, we're not talking about like differences of opinion and like that's the guy with another style. We're actually talking about fascism. And
Mhm.
so I do want my kid to know that. It I don't need to tell him everything, but I I don't feel regret that I told him this is a really bad person and it is scary. And yes,
Yeah.
look at the helpers. We did say, what's going to happen is we're going to, keep fighting and keep being in community and but yeah, we're scared.
Well, I don't know if you got last night we talked about what would happen if Trump won and Griffin was kind of because there's a lot of conversation at school. Like we're in Portland, this is a very liberal bubble. Like
Yeah, it's a bad
the
man.
kids are
Yeah, it's
almost
a bad
violent
guy.
about Trump. Like we often are like, because Griffin came home one day and he was like, well, if I saw him, I would, stab him or something. And I was like, well, like we don't want to sink to their level. We talked about like you fight with your heart, you fight with your mind. And we used Star Wars. Like I was like, think of Trump as like the emperor, right? And you might, if he became that, then maybe you would join the resistance. Like we were just
I
we
actually
kind of
think that's good. I actually like that, Miranda, because I'm like, I, because the emperor is fucking horrifying.
right.
I think that that's the part that uh, I don't want to sugarcoat, right?
Right. Like he and Griffin said, like, oh yeah, we fight with our hearts and our minds because he doesn't have those things. And I was like, I mean, kinda, right? Like it's like
Whoa.
this is our strength, right? This is our strength, is our kindness
Mm.
and our love. And like to
Oh,
me,
hi,
that
Nellie.
hi Nellie Bean.
Nellie's here. She brought her backpack and book. She's like
Nellie
all
was,
ready.
when I knew what was
Oh my
going on
God,
too,
she's
Nellie
so
woke up in
cute.
the night and it took, she's been doing this a lot lately, so I didn't want to get her out of bed, but I also really did. I really
I
wanted to just
know.
hold her like all night
Yeah.
long. And she actually said,
Oh,
can
look
you
at her
give
with
me
her
a
little
snuggle?
pigtails.
And I was like,
Oh,
yes, I want to. And I want to, but I was thinking about her, Sarah, one of the things that you and I connected with before we even made the podcast was that we were both obsessed with women talking.
yeah. Yeah, I've been
And
thinking about women talking today
I've been
too.
thinking about it so much. And the
Mhm.
end, right? It's like the idea of
The
the 7 generations or the many generations. Like, I feel sad for our daughters. And I also feel like so clear what work is ahead of us. Like this is a very clear picture, and it's a painful one, but it's like, okay, this girl needs me. So I can't, it helps
yeah,
me
I
to just
can't
be
just
with
like
her.
become an alcoholic. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, uh Sorry,
I
like I
do
think
want to join a
seeing
coven though. It's time.
I think
It's
seeing
time.
Nellie is like making me cry. I actually
Yeah.
the I was it's a weird, maybe a good, I don't know what time to be on Lexapro, which I have taken for depression before. There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm taking now for, hi, Nellie, for my dizziness disorder.
Yes.
And it does make you like a little numb, and it was weird to
Yeah.
be on Lexapro last night
Oh
and this
yeah.
morning, and I finally cried this morning when I thought about my daughter.
Yeah.
And like, and also, a friend was bringing up like our mothers, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
so
I know.
sad. They worked so hard.
I can fix
And
it.
this
I
is
can
like,
fix it.
this is their legacy. It's not the whole story, right? But
But
it's
they
just,
deserve better. I know. I was
yeah,
thinking
to
about
go
my
out like
mom.
this. I mean, this
Yeah.
might be my mom's last presidential election or so, it's
Oh
like,
my gosh. I hope
it's
not.
so
Mom, keep going to
devastating.
yoga.
I
Keep
know
my
the
mom.
things she
Yeah,
did for
I know.
us, right?
I
You
know.
don't stop, but yeah,
No.
you were
They
talking
deserve
about.
to see a woman president. Like we all deserve that and they deserve
Or
that. And
or
yeah.
like, I don't know, maybe just not like a, nationwide campaign to um
It's not joking.
oppress and kill and subjugate women.
Yeah, first of all, absolutely. And then this is totally like silver lining stuff. So maybe it's not helpful, but um David often will say that like this is happening because the tide is turning. Like people are
Yes,
so
it is
scared
a
and they're so
reaction.
angry, and like it's
Yes.
because we are making ground, that things are changing and people are
Hmm.
fearful, so they're clinging to these like, horrible, worst kinds of um ideologies that are
Yeah.
dying out, and
Well, but they're, yes,
but I know, I
not.
know,
I mean, I think I
I
agree
know.
with all of that except for the dying out part. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a reaction to
That's my
things
friend
that
Sarah. Do you
are
want to say
real.
hi?
Hi,
No.
Nellie.
No. Okay.
It's okay. You can just hang. You do you.
We are gonna walk to the witch's house.
Okay.
Oh,
I just got back from like, wait, I have a question about the witch's house, but the parents at my kids' school set up like coffee and pastries this morning, and
oh,
we both, John
that's
and I, like
nice.
both went, which never happens at drop off, and we just kind of like stood there stunned all together, and um there was like a mom who came late, when like everybody was packing up and like double parked and kind of yelled out of her car. She was like, "Did I miss it?" And she was like, "Also, we're all like upset, right? This isn't like a happy." And it was like, "No, no, yeah, yeah, come on. We're
She
all,
new to California.
yeah, yeah." Well, she said she lives in a neighboring town and her kids go to school in Oakland, and she said she was amazed by the number of Trump supporters in her town.
Oh God.
What are you gonna do today? You're gonna go to the witch's house.
I'm
Is that a
hoping she's
metaphor for
home.
something, or
Well, there
yeah,
is this
tell the witch
house
we
up
need
in
her.
the woods called the witch's house, and I
Oh
am
yeah.
hoping she'll be there, but she's usually not. But I feel like I could use something. I really do. I've been listening to that BBC Witch podcast. I think I sent it to you.
No?
I didn't. Oh, I gotta send it to you. It's the
Okay.
same woman who made the 28 days one about like menstrual cycle.
Oh, I don't know about that either,
Oh
but
my
I like
gosh.
it all.
And the witch is fantastic. And it's what I need right now. And, I have this friend who's in this coven, and like I've been dancing around my curiosity, and now I'm just gonna be like,
And also
let me
around
in.
bonfires. Sorry.
I wish. I just don't, I know it's kind of silly, but I'm like, this is where my head is.
Yeah, join a fucking coven.
It's
Take Nellie
time.
with you.
It's
Nellie, do you
time.
want to be a witch?
Nellie, do you want to be a witch? No. No. What do you want
No.
to be? You don't want a hug? You do want a hug?
Oh, give her a hug.
It's because David's here. She
Oh,
wanted a
she's
big
getting a
snuggle.
hug from Dada.
Yeah.
I want to be a witch and I want a hug.
Yeah. A
Yeah.
hug witch.
Yeah. All
A witch
right.
of
Well,
hugs.
I
Well,
don't know what I'm gonna do today. I missed therapy. Is that
I
ironic or
know.
something? I forgot about it.
Well, I
But
think
this
that
has kind of served
You
to
could
get that.
listen to Witch.
The podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. I built like 3 pieces of IKEA furniture last night,
Oh, that's
and I have
good.
one more. I might do that and listen to like, do you ever listen to 7 Year Bitch?
No,
Like in like middle school? Like they have a
no.
song, Dead Men Don't Rape.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
no, but that
And
sounds like good energy for today.
yeah, I think that I'll put on my 7 Year Bitch
Yes.
radio
I
and
dropped on the
maybe
floor.
Well, you
fuck
send
up
me
some
that link
IKEA.
and I'll send you
Huh.
Witch. We can
Okay.
both
All
have some
right.
of that. Maybe we're like
Anybody
ready for Riot Girl, like a Riot Girl,
resurgence?
3.0 or
Yeah,
something.
let's
Yeah.
go get another tattoo. What
Oh,
would your
yeah.
tattoo say? Fuck.
I think it would be my kids' names because
Mm.
nothing inspires me more. Like we were doing this, I'm sorry to talk about yoga, but we were doing this thing in yoga
You
where
know it's a trigger word for me.
they were like, think of one thing that's true. Like we were meditating at the end and she
Mm,
was like, think of
think of
one thing that you know is true. And I just like it
oh,
kind of rose
that's
into
really
my
beautiful.
right. And I just thought I love my kids. Like that was just, it just came, right? It just like came into my heart and my
Thing
mind.
that's true.
And it was to practice this thing called one pointed awareness, which is like the goal of your I realize that might be triggering for ADHD. Like it's like, but it's like it's the goal of the meditation practice. And you don't have to like achieve it, right? It's just like what you're kind of would be an experience that you might
Yeah.
want to have. And it's like it was the first time I had been able to experience that like one pointed thing because it was so simple and it
What's
was so
one
true.
pointed awareness? Like just focus on one thing.
Yeah, it would be like you're
Yeah, I need
totally
meds for
immersed in
that.
like a single awareness, so it was
Yeah.
like I love my kids, and
Hmm.
I was able to like stay on that
Yeah. I
without
wonder
having
what
to.
would happen if like you just said that 100 times today. It's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, I have a version of that. Maybe it's a little more ADHD friendly that like a craniosacral therapist taught me, which is just kind of like looking around the room and just like I see the jacket. I'm gonna do it right now. I see the sleeve of my hot pink blazer, and it's like a really bright pink, and I see how the shadows kind of are in the creases of it.
Yeah.
And I see my son's black rain boots that are probably too big. They're like for next year. And so just
Do you
kind
do
of
the
I
five, four,
see a
three, two,
crumpled
one?
receipt.
It's like
Something,
five things you see, four things you hear, three things you smell, and like two things you touch,
oh,
and one thing you take. This is one that I got, and it's like
that's
a way
good
to like
too.
calm down. Like you kind of try to just right and ground yourself
This
in
is like
like,
you start on the outside and then you can go internal. Like I
yeah,
know,
oh yeah.
I can feel like one of my feet is just kind of falling asleep a little bit, and I can feel the like kind of the knit of my sweater on my wrist. And I
Yeah.
don't know what it does, but I mean it does feel like the things that are true, a version of the things that are true exercise.
Well, Megan O'Connell and I both apparently went to see Nora last night.
I have plans to go tonight, but I'm kind of like I can't think
Do
that
it.
far ahead.
Do it. We both were, I think we were texting about it a little bit, and I think it was like, I want to just, there will continue to be art. Like, I think that
Yes.
the things that will sustain us and feed us so that we see what we have to fight against. And
Yeah.
it's so overwhelming, but it's like what will sustain us through that is what I'm trying to like look for today, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm, yeah, I
I don't
want to
know.
be with people, but I do want to avoid the internet. Something I'm already noticing is like I don't think most people are being performative at all. Like I don't genuinely believe that. I think people are trying to connect, but once it like, and I mean we're kind of doing this too. It's like once it becomes
Did you
content,
finish work?
there's
Yeah.
something sometimes that feels a little,
Anything?
I don't know, cynical
What?
about it. And I'm having that reaction kind of looking at things people are posting is like part of me is feeling, sometimes I don't agree, often I'm feeling really like seen, but there's this eeriness about kind of the, I don't know, the gaze of it all that is making me feel kind of wonky when I think I do need to be just like, right, doing the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, maybe seeing a real person at a real
Yes.
movie theater,
It's helping me to
So-
see you.
real popcorn. It's
Making me
helping
happy
me.
to see you
It's helping me to see you.
and talk to
Um,
you. I
thank you
think the
for
moms, right? All this comes
this.
back to like other mothers that I connect with
Yeah,
helps me so much.
yeah,
And then kids, like my kid. I feel so
I know.
fortunate to have kids in my life. Like
I do
I feel
too,
like I have
and
to shop my kids
painful
around, be
too.
like, do you need a hug? Do you need a hug from a kid? You know, do you need
Yeah,
like I
I feel
what
like I
yeah.
let my kids down though, or we
Oh,
did too. Like facing them this morning. Of course I just wanted to like, yeah, get all the snuggles and smell the like back of my daughter's hair and
should we do
but
nose spray?
Yeah.
yeah, do
Just a
the
little
nose
nose
spray.
spray.
Do the
I
nose
know.
spray. Oh, there you go. Wow. A kid who wants to do the nose spray.
She's a champion.
It's
Are
like
you
dripping
so
back
good at
out.
that?
And she licked it when
It
it
tastes
dripped down.
salty. She
Yeah,
likes
does it
it.
taste good? All right. Let's
What?
let's go be in the world however we show up and
We're gonna go
thank you.
glow.
I'm glad you suggested this. It's just good to talk to you and see your face.
Good to talk to
Nellie,
you
do you have
too.
any last words?
Nellie, do you want to say anything? Do you want to say bye bye, Sarah? You can say bye bye. You say it right. Can you say it here?
Okay.
Okay, come here.
But-
Nellie's wearing a megalodon tooth necklace.
God, there's so many more dinosaurs than there used to be.
Nellie Bean,
Remember in our day there were just like 3 dinosaurs?
what are you gonna say? Oh
Okay,
my
Nellie,
gosh.
take it away.
What do you want to say? Do you want to sing a song? No. Do you want to just say bye, Sarah? Can you say?
Yeah.
Okay, can you say that?
Uh, you say with me.
Okay.
Bye, Sarah.
Bye, Sarah.
Bye. Love you.
Love you too. Hang in there. We'll make it through.